Yeah, we keeping our eyes close on this situation, man. In Chicago, things are heating up. Things are heating up. Look like this could be a setup too. This could be a setup, man. Just we know it's shit about the fan. Giving all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who told us this truth. A sincere Shalom Labakarium Shal Yasha'Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Now I was looking around, just gathering more information about this report here. Look like some citizens took matters in their own hands from what they're saying. As you can see, DHS says ICE agents in Chicago suburb boxed in by 10 cars as tensions escalate. Now they did say one woman who was supposed to be the lead behind this thing, she had an armed weapon with her. However, well, she had a weapon. She was armed. And possibly she got shot by some federal agents. That federal agents were rammed and boxed in by 10 cars where anti-U.S. immigrations and customs enforcement, ICE crowds have been gathering for days. Yeah, this thing is heating up. And we knew that the citizens they're gonna blow. Especially after what they did to that apartment building with dragging those kids out naked. You know, the tensions is high in Great Babylon. You know, yeah, we about to hit them. We're going to pull this too. We're going to get that second Ezra 15, man. Time is short. It says one of the drivers was armed with a semi-automatic weapon, according to McLaughlin, whatever, who said officer was forced to deploy their weapons and fire defensive shots at an armed U.S. citizen. So we don't know if this thing is, because it's a lot going on, man, especially with Antifa, you know, and them funding this because they creating the problem, but they can get a lot out of this, you know. They can get a lot out of this. Lockdowns, I mean, curfews, you name it. Because Trump just deployed 300 more troops. So the situation is definitely escalating. And Salakia, just a little early right now. And we see the tensions is high, man. We here. Akim, Akwaf, we are here. You know, and it's only going to get worse. You know, even if this dies down, look, it's just one thing after the next. This is our second Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. For the sword and their destruction draweth near. So it's getting close, man. And one people shall stand up and fight against another. And swords in their hands, that's these guns. These American Babylonians, they heavily armed. There's a lot of weapons here. A lot of weapons. There's going to be some major pushback to where they may call martial law in a lot of these states, man. The civil war is on. For there shall be sedition. This is the word I want right here. There shall be sedition among men. Just for those who don't know the definition, incitement of rebellion, right? A rebel rousing, troublemaking, right? Inflaming a rebellion, a revolt, an insurrection, civil disorder. So we looking for these civil disorders, man, because Jake tired, and you know Judah gonna rise up, and when Judah rise up, the rest of the tribes are gonna rise up.
All right, guys, it looks like the chaos is unraveling in Chicago. We have word that ICE agents have been ambushed as Trump is trying to federalize and deploy hundreds of troops to the streets to help them. The people coming out in mass, as you can see in some of these images, and what they're saying now is that the ICE agents were rammed and they were boxed in by 10 different cars. This took place in Broadview, Illinois. They're saying that a woman was at the forefront of all this. The police were forced to deploy their weapons and fire defensive shots at an armed U.S. citizen. They're saying the attacker, a woman who was hit, apparently doxed the agents and posted all this online beforehand and said, hey, to all my gang, let's F those mother effers up and don't let them take anyone. Then the firefight took place and the agents kind of scurrying, running all over the place, not knowing where the shots were coming from at first, per the witnesses, but then they locked into this woman, and this woman was then taken to the hospital to get care for her wounds. Chicago coming out saying that law enforcement were attacked, rammed, boxed in by 10 different vehicles. So I guess all those individuals got away that were in all the rest of those cars. But the person with the semi-automatic weapon, the woman shot, taken into custody. And it just looks like this is ramping up, leveling up day after day, night after night. And the governor there responding to Trump, saying that they don't need the troops there, although there's chaos, breaking loose in the area. And we've warned about this in terms of the troops, because a federal judge said that Trump broke the law, posse comitatus, in what he did. And Trump basically said they're going to do whatever they want to do. They'll deal with the law.
And that's scriptorial. They should not regard their kings, princes. That's what the scripture says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. We in this time. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. They're not going to regard you. See, Trump is, he said in the new, this is Nero, man. This is a new order being set. And when you go into the king is the rulers, which would be the court system. You have legislation for a reason, right? A monarch, a supreme ruler. They're not going to listen to them. A head of a state, they're not listening to the heads. The Lord, the chief, the landlord. So people are not going to be regarding these laws. As you can see, Trump ain't worried about the court system. He ain't worried about being sued. He ain't worried about violating no rights, just like the scriptures say. It says they shall not regard their kings. They're not regarding the law of the land. So what do you think the people going to do? It says, no princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. I mean, what Trump is coming up with is standing in their power. His executive orders, Trump is doing what he's supposed to be doing at this time. And he's inciting the people, man. But as you can see, we at this point. Ain't nobody gonna be listening to what the mayor gotta say. Ain't nobody gonna be listening to what the governor's gotta say.
Later, okay? So, different judges doing different things. We have an Antifa-aligned Democrat now charged with assault on a federal officer outside of the facilities in Portland. And we have a judge there in Portland blocking Trump's National Guard deployment to that region as well, warning of a constitutional crisis, saying that
this
he's
thing,
breaking.
Yeah, he breaking because they're not listening. We had a very. This is a tipping point for this country, man. And the Lord warned about this civil unrest. Let me get this here. So we just. More fuel for the fire. Telling how next week going to look. But we coming closer to the end of 2025, going into 2026, man. Look like they trying to start this thing by the end of this year. And call Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, we going to be kicking down the door for 2026. I'm telling what, hey, they may implement that micro CHIP. This is what we waiting for. But you're going to need things like this happening. The chaos, the uproars of the people, man. This is Matthew 12 and 25, right? But I'm gonna read it. I want the GNT. Yahushua knew what they were thinking, and so he said unto them, any country that divides itself into groups which fight each other will not last very long. And any town or family that divides itself into groups which fight each other will fall apart. And that's what we seeing, man. The division on the courts, they ain't listening to the courts. Everybody, Trump doing his own thing, the deputies doing their own, the ICE doing his own thing, Antifa doing their own thing. Now they want to get the gangs involved in Chicago. You see what's happening in Portland. Yeah, this shit is good, man. We in biblical times. We at the end of Esau's kingdom, and this is how it looks when it falls apart. This is a beautiful thing to see your enemy fall like this. They scrambling. But it's going to intensify, man.
Posse Comitatus. Others are saying he needs
They
to
don't
abide
care
by
about that
that.
Posse Comitatus.
On a federal officer outside of the facilities in Portland. And we have a judge there in Portland blocking Trump's National Guard deployment to that region as well, warning of a constitutional crisis, saying that he's breaking Posse Comitatus. Others are saying he needs to abide by that. His administration, again, saying they're going to do what they want and deal with it in court later.
There you go. They doing what they want, like the scriptures say. You're going to get it again. And he said, we'll deal with it in court later. But hey, we end this time. We end this time. 2nd Esdras 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard. They shall not regard, man. Let me look this word regard up. You're not regard. You're not considering. Look on, to view, to see, to think. Right? To judge, to deem. They not to evaluate. They're not doing, they bypass the laws and the order and the court system. They're not weighing it out, summing it up. They're not regarding what? Their kings, right? The authority that's set over them. Nor princes. Trump is doing his own thing, man. And the course of their action shall stand. A man shall desire to go into a city. And why won't a man be able to go into these cities? Look, you're going to be having so much fighting and shooting and cars burning and looting. You ain't going to want to go into the next city. Then you're going to have lockdowns in certain cities where you got a curfew over here. This city's going a curfew over there. There's going to be some type of curfew implemented in Chicago behind this. God, Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Sham. May the Most High be with the elect out there. We got the camps out there, man. The Chicago camps, man. Elder Malcolm, and GMS Chicago, man. Shalom to y'all brothers, man. The Lord be with y'all. But we in this time. It's going to be your city next. You sitting tight. It's a nice day. Don't be deceived. These prophecies are coming. They coming strong. So we got to walk with our faith right now. Because with this thing intensify, they got to hit the power. They known for doing that. Shut the power off on these niggas, man. Get everything under control. This could be control opposition, which I think it is. To start to get the gangs involved. Maybe the Nation of Islam may get involved with this. Oh yeah. We had a serious time. It says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. We not taking this for a joke. These scriptures ain't here for your entertainment, man. And it's coming to a town near you. You ain't safe. So stop thinking you safe. It's just a matter of time. It says, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. And when I say you ain't safe, that's for the non-believers. Because you got a lot of, let's just jump up real fast, because the elect gonna be good. The elect is good. But the non-believers, you ain't safe, man. You Christians. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 2. and cause them, actually, let's go to 3. Fear not the Damn, Jake with his stupid music, man. I'm telling you, man, Jake, boy. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble you that speak against thee. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. And the Lord coming for you, scoffers. You know, you camp mockers. You thinking this is a joke. Oh, the Lord coming for you. You're the ones that's not safe, you unbelievers. The true believers in Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai and his plan he got for the future for Yahweh Shai to rule, it's going to be all good. But we're going to be sitting in the midst of this destruction, you know? So it says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, back in the 19th verse. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods. It's going to get to this point. You wait till they stop the trucks coming in with the food. Now here go Jake, you know, as soon as like, what say it, boy, I tell you. You know, you want to come right behind me with the music. Oh, man. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. And for great tribulation. That's you non-believers, man. You're going to be out here. See, the Lord's elect ain't going to be involved with this. But we will be reporting it because this is all scriptorial. This is all biblical prophecy. That we will get to this point, which is bringing in that kingdom, that country divided against itself shall not stand. That prophecy right there, that stands sure. That was out of Yahweh Shai's mouth. You know, he was referencing Esau's rulership.
And as long as they're sending troops into these cities, you're going to start to see settings like this more and more. So I feel like these events are going to continue to escalate. We're going to see more of them in more cities. This is just the latest. Join me for the live stream.
Yeah, but as you can see, man, we're keeping our eyes close, you know, but the Lord is stirring the pot. This thing is about to blow. All hell is about to break loose. Ain't gonna be too many of these days where, you know, you sit in the car and, you know, no. These videos gonna be outlawed. They're gonna heavily censor the internet. The scriptures that we reading and bringing out and putting it to the events of the world, sharing with you the information, that's gonna be taken down. And a man gonna have to walk. Let me get this last scripture. You have to walk with that faith. That faith is a serious weapon. We got to keep bringing it out at this time. Because that, hey, without that faith, you can't do nothing. You're going to get shook. It's going to be too much happening. It's going to be aggressive. We're going to have to let go and let the Lord do the working. That's what the faith is going to allow. This is Habakkuk 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul, which is lift up, is not upright in him. That's Esau. But the just, man, whom I've called, I've justified. That's the elect. The just, or the Lord's elect, shall live by his faith. Is the weapon. That's the weapon, and that's the time we coming in. Because the rest of these unbelievers, they ain't got it, and they going to be mauled down quick. So we want to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahak Wadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone who told us this truth. A sincere shalom, labakarium, shah, yasha Allah. That's peace to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.